Good morning. Thanks for getting up with us as you start your Sunday. I'm Devin Haskins. This morning on Sunrise, cracking down on street takeovers. Law enforcement bump up patrols after catching wind of a possible weekend event. Plus, the latest addiction in sports betting. How a civil club sport is taking off not just in Oregon, but around the world. And before we get to those headlines, let's turn to Chris McGinnis for a quick look at the forecast.
So I asked, do you call it ping pong or table tennis?
I've always called it table tennis.
Okay.
Ping pong, ping pong, ping pong.
All right, there you go. Let's get you out the door right now. We are waking up to a little bit of cloud cover that has now pushed its way up the mouth of the Columbia River and is snugging up against the Cascade foothills here. The sun trying to peek up over that. The sunrise, by the way, just a minute or two ago. Tomorrow, the first 6 a.m. sunrise of the summer. Sunrise is getting a little bit later here, but in any event, clouds are starting to work their way in. It's 61 degrees last check at PDX. You can see some wildfire smoky haze off to the south here. This is from our Timberline camera pointed south towards Mount Jefferson. Another day where the air quality down in Lane County is poor. And we'll look at that coming up in a few minutes. And we do have morning clouds, even a little mist at the coast. This is from Lincoln City, the Chinook Winds Casino Resort camera showing Cascade Head, little in and out of the cloud deck there. As we mentioned, poor air quality in portions of Lane County and into Central Oregon. The Willamette Valley, though, as a whole is generally clear as far as that's concerned. And we're comfortable. It's 53 right now in Hillsborough, 61 at the airport, and the big perspective across the state, 70s out towards the Columbia Basin. Bend right now waking up to 63. The plan over the next 6 hours. Morning cloud cover will likely fill in for a little bit, so I think we go mostly cloudy for a time this morning, and then I'll step out of the way. You can see temperatures inching into the mid-70s by noontime. We will be back into the 90s, I think, this afternoon, though. And Dev and I have a forecast, a 7-day forecast that is 90-plus more often than not over the next 7 days. So warm second week of August coming our way. More on that in a minute.
I'll get ready for those warm days ahead. For the second straight night, Portland police and other law enforcement agencies were out in force to try and prevent street takeovers. The Portland Police Bureau calls the first night of the mission a success, and according to their social media posts on X, last night officers arrested a couple more drivers that they said were illegally street racing. Art Edwards has more on the weekend's mission.
Portland police, along with law enforcement from agencies all over the area, back on the streets for their effort to deter street takeovers. Already on Saturday, multiple arrests. Everything from eluding police to not having insurance and switched license plates. Street takeovers have become a concern in Portland.
People are coming from all over the West Coast, in some cases even farther than that, in order to come to Portland, in order to engage in this really dangerous activity.
The mission has not been without a deadly accident. 2 Gresham police officers in a patrol car working the mission spotted a car speeding along Northeast 122nd and Hancock late Friday night.
The Gresham officers immediately addressed it, tried to stop the vehicle, and the driver refused to stop.
Minutes later, the car crashed into a power pole and flipped at Northeast 122nd and Marks. 2 men died in the crash. A third was taken to a hospital with what police describe as non-life-threatening injuries. Still, the Portland Police Bureau calls the start of their effort to prevent street takeovers a success.
We realize that there's a huge level of concern about people being able to use our public streets, and our goal is to keep them open.
Art Edwards, KGW News.
Emergency responders recovered the body of a man who they say drowned in Hegg Lake on Saturday. At around 7 Saturday night, witnesses told Washington County deputies they saw a man jump off the fishing pier, but eventually went underwater after struggling to swim. Crews pulled out the body of 32-year-old Vilman de la Cruz Lopez about 2 hours later. And a scary situation in Portland's Old Town neighborhood Saturday afternoon. Police say a man was threatening people with a machete and a hatchet. He then went into a busy arcade full of people and employees. This happened around 3 in the afternoon on Saturday at Ground Control on Northwest 5th Avenue. The arcade was evacuated and streets were shut down as police tried to talk with the man. They say about an hour and a half of talking. Police say the man appeared to use drugs and lose consciousness, and that's when officers arrested him. They also said no one was hurt. 2 Portland police officers walked away seemingly unhurt after their patrol car was flipped during an emergency call. It happened just after 7 Saturday night on Northeast Gleason at the I-205 off-ramp intersection. Portland police say a driver went around cars that were stopped for police and crashed into the side of the patrol car. The officers did not report any injuries, but they were taken to the hospital to be checked out. And an apartment fire Saturday morning damaged 9 units, forcing more than a dozen people to search for a new place to live. This happened at Southeast 72nd and Foster. Firefighters were able to get the fire under control in about 20 minutes. and are still looking into what caused the fire. And now to a KGW News investigation. It's a game you've seen in the Olympics, but it's become a popular sport for bettors. A KGW investigation looks into the popularity of sports betting in Oregon and one surprising sport in particular that is raking in more bets than you might think. Here's Kyle Aboshi.
Sports betting is booming. Oregonians wagered more than $500 million on games last year. But a closer look reveals it's not just football or basketball that people are betting on. Table tennis. That's right, table tennis has become one of the biggest sports for bettors. Last year, Oregonians wagered $57 million on table tennis, making it the fourth largest draw for sports gamblers behind professional basketball, football, and baseball.
To give you an idea of how prevalent this is, right now in Poland, which is, I believe, 10 hours ahead of us, there are 3 different live matches going on.
Dr. Ken Pendleton is a sports marketing instructor at the University of Oregon. As he showed us, the lineup of matches to bet on runs round the clock, with a new contest starting every few minutes.
This is like the crack cocaine of sports gambling.
Unlike other sports, there's always action. Matches don't last long, and in-game betting lines change fast.
So you're seeing the players play, you're seeing the odds change every 5 to 10 seconds, and you're free to wager fairly large sums of money on this at any time.
One of the biggest bets, February of last year. In the wee hours of the morning, a sports bettor in Oregon put down $35,000 on this match in Poland between 2 relatively unknown players in an empty gym. The bet paid off, cashing out for $41 grand.
Is this high-level table tennis?
It really isn't the highest level. I would consider it club level.
Sean O'Neill is a 2-time Olympian and U.S. Table Tennis Hall of Famer. He explained that betting on table tennis took off during the pandemic, when the rest of the sporting world shut down. Since then, new leagues and tournaments have popped up, mostly based in Eastern Europe.
It seems like they're created simply for gambling.
It really is. Yeah, they know it. They're having players play 24/7. All around the clock.
The matches are streamed on YouTube or betting platforms like DraftKings. Typically, there's no announcer and no fans. Most of the table tennis matches offered by the Oregon Lottery through DraftKings involve the International Table Tennis Series based in Poland. It claims players are prohibited from betting, and there are safeguards to help ensure there's no match fixing.
These matches are real. These players are wanting to win. They don't know what the odds are when they're playing.
Researchers suggest those betting on table tennis are drawn to quick, constant action, similar to video poker or slot machines. And the Oregon Lottery is helping to satisfy the appetite of those gamblers with obscure table tennis matches played day and night.
As we can see from the data, they're making the state of Oregon in DraftKings and other bookmakers in other states are making a nice profit from this, and it has the whiff of being problematic.
Kyle Aboshi, KGW News.
And if you have a story idea for Kyle to investigate, give him a call, 503-226-5041, or you can always email him at callkyle@kgw.com. In Olympic news, Ryan Krauser continues to make history. The world record holder and 2-time world champion is now taking home a gold medal from Paris. The pride of Sam Barlow High School once again dominated the field. His first throw was good enough to win the gold, but it was his third attempt that was his best one. Launching this 16-pound ball, 22.9 meters. That's more than 75 feet. Krauser battled through injuries to his elbow and pectoral muscles this spring to become the sport's first ever 3-time Olympic champion. He said that winning a third consecutive gold is a testament to the dedication and hard work, calling it a 365-day-a-year job. And as he made history taking home the gold for the third time in a row, a crowd gathered at Krauser's old high school during a watch party on Saturday morning. Lots of love. You can see lots of cheers there, lots of pride swirling around as Krauser made Olympic history as that 3-time gold medalist. Congratulations. Now let's take a look at the latest medal count in Paris. Team USA's total continues to outpace the rest of the competition, now up to 61, and that includes 14 gold medals.